1 in every 162 children have Tourette's syndrome. However, despite being so prevalent, the Tourette's community is vastly underrepresented. Tourette's syndrome is a neurological disorder that usually occurs around the ages of 7 to 10. It includes motor and vocal tics that are incredibly harmful and self-destructive. Although medications are commonly used as treatment, they rarely reduce tics more than 50%, and often the side effects can be worse than the tics.
Another treatment is CBIT therapy or comprehensive behavioral intervention for tics. CBIT therapy is a form of habit reversal therapy in which a CBIT therapist teaches a patient to become more aware of their tics and to lessen the urge the patients have to tic. In order for CBIT to be successful, however, the therapist has to truly understand the patient and what environment caused tics to worsen. This is often done through a tic tracking form, and there are many complications that arise through this form. And so CBIT therapists are constantly struggling to get accurate and consistent data from their patients.
The current CBIT path starts with the CBIT therapist. The CBIT therapist will ask both the patient and, depending on the patient's ages, the patient's parents to fill out a tic tracking form. This is a manual sheet that needs to be filled out on a daily basis. The patient and patient's parents will collaborate to fill out this form and then put their data into the tic tracking log. Then the CBIT therapist will refer to the tic tracking log to get the data to inform their next session with their patient. However, due to the manual and subjective qualities of the tic tracking log, a lot of issues arise in this process.
So, to improve this complicated and tedious tic tracking path, we implement Kyntic solution. Kyntic replaces the confusion around the patient and parent, where the parent essentially has to record what their child is doing every time they tic, and works to streamline the process of accurately informing the CBIT therapist of the child's ticking patterns.
So, CBIT therapists need a more effective and accurate way for their patients to log the frequency, intensity, and environment of their tics in order to provide individualized support. So, Kyntic aims to eliminate CBIT therapy being based on manual and subjective data entry in the tic tracking logs. It hopes to reduce the inefficiency of the current CBIT therapy process and overall increase the accessibility of Tourette's resources. Kyntic hopes to raise the efficiency and accuracy of data tracking above the current CBIT therapy industry standards. Finally, Kyntic is creating a sensor and app pair to collect tic and environmental data to make CBIT therapy a more streamlined and accessible process. More specifically, Kyntic is using a wearable device that sits on the back of the neck and collects accelerometer and gyroscope data, which is then run through our custom-made algorithm that detects peaks in the data and identifies them as tics. Additionally, we will collect environmental factors such as screen time, sleep, exercise, and other elements that a patient is interested in tracking to analyze the data and figure out what external factors increase or decrease the frequency and intensity of tics.
Currently looks at our mood, screen time, activities, and sleep, as well as severity and exercise. A big goal of the app is to make sure it is as customizable as possible, so a patient is able to input different activities they did throughout the day, as well as the hours and minutes that they did the activity for.
In terms of our competition, the manual tick tracking log is really the only thing out there trying to collect data on ticks. While they are both relatively accessible, the manual tick tracking log is much more difficult to use and takes a lot more time. Furthermore, it is not super customizable and overall lacks a lot in accuracy. This disparity in accuracy is what makes Kyntic so valuable.
For the three tiers of non-customers, the current market is the Tourette's community, which we've spent a lot of time getting to know, from the patients to the CBIT therapists and even organizations around Tourette's like the Tourette's Association of America. We've tried to really talk with everyone and get as many perspectives as possible to tackle this issue from all sides. Our soon-to-be partners are CBIT therapists who we hope are excited and eager to partner with us in order to make their job a lot easier. And then tier two for refusing are a lot of the people who have found that traditional methods of CBIT therapy don't work for them or their child, and they are ineffective, inaccessible, and pretty expensive as well. Tier three is the unexplored, and these are people who could be new to the Tourette's community or just have a lack of resources surrounding where to get help or who to reach out to. And so, hopefully, with this project as well, we are raising a lot of awareness for the people who don't know much about Tourette's.
Through design thinking and innovation, we hope to bring positive change to the Tourette's community.
Thank you so much for your consideration.